guitar and Shaq CD, well, they don't mean that much to me right now. I'm going through your things these days. I'm changing all my strings. Gonna write you a letter, I'm gonna write you a book. I wanna see your reaction, I wanna see how it looks from way up on your cloud. Well, you've been hiding out. Well, are you getting somewhere, or did you get lost in Amsterdam? You won't get too far from me, believe in everything you read. You're wasted in the great unknown, and I am finally ready to dispose of all your vintage clothes, your drugs, and every secret code. I'm gonna write you a letter, I'm gonna write you a book. I wanna see your reaction, I wanna see how it looks from way up on your cloud. Well, you've been hiding out, and are you getting somewhere, or did you get lost in Amsterdam?
Happy holidays from Germany, guys. It's Josh again. If you've ever watched any of my other videos, maybe you've seen the one where I was in Bruges and I promised that I would return to Belgium to see if I could locate some signs of shaving life in the country. I concluded that Bruges was basically a tourist area, and for that reason didn't really expect a whole lot. Shave scene was little to none, other than the kind of canned goo and cartridges that you can find pretty much anywhere. And I came back. My wife has some extended family in Brussels, and so we spent some time there where I grew a beard and learned that when visiting family, touring around really isn't a priority. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a whole lot of touring around Brussels to make a educated guess on what the shave scene might be like there, what kind of products are available. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to make good on my promise to come back to Belgium and find the goods. But what I did find was the Netherlands. And about 2 hours away from Brussels by car, we got to Amsterdam, spent 2 nights there, and was able to find these fantastic products, or at least reputed to be fantastic products. I haven't tried them yet, but okay. I'm going to try this and one time. De Vergulde Hand. So if you're Dutch and you're out there, please forgive my pronunciation. That's what today's shave is going to be. De Vergulde Hand. Danny Van Rooyen was very specific. Vergulde. Really get it in the throat, okay? So I hope I did that okay. But anyway, I'm going to use this. I also bought the balm there in the Netherlands. And some of my favorite hardware. The Shavemac Americana, Jeff Anderson, and the Muhle R41 with a Matador Toro Mastiff handle. Add some heft to it. So I've been in Europe for about, say about 6 months now, just about 6 months, and I've been able to come up with a few conclusions. Essentially, with very rare exceptions, which is to say the big cities, Europe, oh, by the way, I hope you like the beard. I just wanted to show you one thing, because I can't have a beard at work, but I wanted to show you one thing before it goes bye-bye, till the next time I get an extensive period of time off of work. This is my reverse Hitler. There's one hair that grows there. So I don't know if Douglas Smythe has any answers to that question of how to grow my mustache, but it's not going to grow on this face. Just simply doesn't grow underneath this spot right here. So it's kind of like a pirate thing going on. So you won't be seeing me growing any mustaches anytime soon. And my wife seems to like the beard, but it's got to go. First impressions is this stuff lathers like a champ. I don't know how it shaves yet, but we'll let you know. So going back to the what I was just saying about my impressions of European shaving thus far. Essentially, my conclusion is that the US and Europe are basically in the same boat. You can go into any supermarket and find essentially the exact same thing as you would find in the States, right here in Europe. So you could find your Gillette products, your Gillette cartridges, maybe a couple Schick products, a lot of Wilkinson sword stuff. And if you're lucky, maybe you can find a tube of Palmolive, a nice, if you like the scent, there's tobacco. I do not like the scent. Your mileage may vary. But really, Gillette owns shaving worldwide, at least from my perspective. Let me just take a moment to talk a little bit more about the R41. I know I'm going crazy here. Someone asked the other day on a forum, why would you need to use an R41? What's the need for a super aggressive razor? I just want to show you that was 9 days, 10 days growth, and in one pass it's almost completely taken off the beard, at least just in this one spot. I mean, just take a look at that. It's very efficient, and it's great for even if you've just got 2 or 3 days of stubble. It's an excellent razor, and it just takes it right off if you are patient and you go slow and you use good fundamentals. So you can go to the supermarkets and get basically the same thing here as you can there. Substitute your Williams soap or your Van der Hagen soap with which is easy to get in the States for things like Palmolive or regionally available soaps like the DVH or Spike. And it seems to be more common to find a shaving brush here. Of course, you can get the sets of Van der Hagen back in the States with a really crappy boar brush in there, although some people probably really like the boar brush. I think I have a little pimple there. But there's some stores here in Germany where you can get a lot more selection in a cosmetic store type of environment. A place called Muhle. If you're ever visiting Germany, that's the place I would recommend you going. It's pretty decent. But that's what I mean. There are very few exceptions around Europe where you can actually find this stuff, at least in quantity and in decent selection. So some notable exceptions in London. There are almost half a dozen shops that I went to alone in a 2-block area called St. James. You might want to check that out. But for the most part, it's mail order, just like everywhere else. I'm going to finish this first pass and shut up for a little while. By the way, the blade I have loaded in here is also from the Netherlands. It's called a HEMA, which is sort of the Netherlands version of Target. Walmart. It's their house brand blade. I don't know who makes it, but at the moment, it's doing a very nice job. So, anyway. A little bit of a tugging there. Off goes the mustache. Not used to shaving with all this hair on my face. So the DVH provides pretty good glide. I'd give it maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. Decent cushion. I think maybe I added a little too much water. That's why sometimes I prefer to bowl lather instead of face lathering, because it tends to give me better results for finding the right mixture of water and soap. But you can see it's a nice thick lather. It's very easy to build. And for the price, it's an extremely good product. The scent is kind of what you'd expect from a soap. Nothing really, I don't think they really put a lot of thought into the scent. It's not perfumey or anything. It's just a clean, powdery, soapy scent. Reminds me of Mitchell's Wool Fat a little bit. And as you saw, that HEMA blade did a decent job, maybe a little bit of tugging, but that's to be expected when you have as much hair on my face as I did. I'm only going to do 2 passes. And that's the beautiful thing about this R41. It just takes it right off, very efficient. I will say that some things that I've learned since the first time I used this in a video is that you have to have a relatively shallow blade angle. So some razors are more like that. The R41's a little bit more like that. And you really have to use very, very little pressure. So other than finding shave products in Amsterdam, I can tell you that it's a really cool place to visit. Obviously, because of my profession, there are a lot of things there that I cannot engage in, but there are an awful lot of people there doing those kinds of things. No judgments. Just, it's a very different environment if that's something you're not used to, and I'm not. But outside of the coffee shop and marijuana culture, there's a lot to be seen and done in Amsterdam. Some really awesome pubs, a lot of notable museums to see. And as long as you can stay out of the way of the bicycles, you'll have a great time in Amsterdam. It's sort of like Europe's Vegas, but with a lot more culture, a lot more class. And the Sin City feeling is definitely there in specific neighborhoods. You can avoid that stuff if you want to, but if you like it, you can do a lot worse in Amsterdam. I cut myself there. I've been listening to the Beard and Blade podcast. I don't know if you're into wet shaving and you're new to it. They offer up a lot of interesting tips that you may not have heard of. And one of the things that Mantic59, who his videos I've talked about a lot on my shaving videos, he recommended doing a warm wash of your face or warm rinse of your face before the cold rinse to really get all that soap off. That extra soap getting clogged in your pores can contribute to ingrowns, which I get a lot. I'm not sure if that has helped me, but I've definitely implemented that tip. A warm face wash followed by a cold face wash. Here's the cold one. So warm face wash, cold face wash is supposed to close the pores for you. And I like to use this do-it-yourself 10 skin. And you can find videos on how to make this on YouTube. It's got some alcohol and some witch hazel, non-coated aspirin. Decent shave. I'm not super high on the HEMA blades, but the jury's still out on that. I find that was the first use of that blade, so a lot of times I find that blades mature with uses, so maybe on the second or third use it'll be more mellow, but and of course it's hard to determine if you're just using one razor whether a blade is good or not. This is the R41, so it's really hard to make a determination. I like to use a more mild razor when I'm doing trying to make an evaluation on a blade. But so far it's very sharp. It feels a little rough though, and again, I had a beard. That's not a common occurrence with me, and I'm using the R41, so it's hard to make a determination. But the DVH is great lather, and let's see how the balm does. The scent is true to the scent of the soap, maybe a little bit more fragrant, but again, just a clean scent. It's a little stickier than some other balms that I've used, which it's not necessarily a bad thing. The question is how it settles on the skin. Does it remain sticky, or does it dry off with a little bit of time? Some of the best balms that I have go on a bit sticky, so it feels relatively soothing. My face is burning a little bit. I think that could be due to the fact that it's been a while since I've shaved, but there it is. So, Brussels, Belgium. Sorry, couldn't give you a more determined, a better answer on that one. But the Netherlands, not just a great place to visit, but a decent place to find a very good, inexpensive product. And the Vergulde Hand, or DVH for short. So, Happy New Year to everybody out there. I really hope that this video finds you and your families in health and happiness, and that you have a great year filled with many happy shaves. Until next time, take care.
Merry